This afternoon, Ghana's foreign investors are urging government to exhibit good faith in its engagement on how to restructure its debt as part of the IMF program. Already, labor unions are up in arms, urging government to back off touching pensions as part of the engagement. The investors, who are mainly Eurobond holders, have set up a committee to track the ongoing process to safeguard their interests and ensure an orderly resolution on the debt challenges. As you may be aware, government yesterday announced a key component of the program, suspending selected external debts, including Eurobonds. Listen to the Finance Minister.
Ladies and gentlemen, in order to recover all, we still have a lot of work to do before the end of the year in order to gain the full benefit of the debt exchange program. Following the stakeholder engagements, government has agreed to extend the expiration date for the domestic debt exchange to 30th December 2022 to allow for key concerns raised by stakeholders to be accommodated in some form. The launch of the debt exchange program, coupled with the signing of the staff level agreement with the IMF, have aided our stability efforts and have in particular contributed significantly to the rebound of our currency. While accommodating the inputs of stakeholders, we must do all we can to sustain the gains of these initiatives, keeping in sight the urgency of obtaining IMF board approval in Q1 2023. The cost of this not succeeding will be too huge for our economy. That is why we urge Parliament to support us in getting the appropriations bill for the 2023 fiscal year passed.
Economics Patrick Assuming says government needs to engage the stakeholders the more on this.
In some sense, the extent of the opposition also reflects the fact that many of those affected probably think that the way we are doing the burden sharing is not equitable, and that it appears that the government is not fully or is not properly taking its fair share of the cut, and then appears to be pushing this on the debt holder. So going forward, I think hopefully there's more engagement with those who are directly affected, and that we ultimately come out of this. The debt exchange program fails, and we are not able to secure the IMF program now. There's going to be a bigger pain for all of us to deal with.
Well, the director of the Institute of Statistical and Social Research, ESL, Professor Peter Korte, says government must make good use of the financial space it obtains from this move.
The pressure on government to find resources to service debt will be eased, because our debt service revenue ratio is over 60-70%. Quite a greater proportion of our tax revenue goes into debt service. So if there is some suspension to allow us to recover from the impact of the different shocks and factors, that will translate into reducing the pressure on the exchange rate. So the average Ghanaian will see a much more stable exchange rate environment. That can translate into lower fuel prices. That can translate into lower cost of items, and by extension, our livelihood. Government will also have additional revenue to spend, that are temporary, as I said, to spend to patch our potholes and pay for goods and services and many others.
Let's understand who makes up this committee. Our in-house data analyst, Kofi J, with the Joy News channel, will break it down for us. He joins me now. Kofi, first, tell us about the entities that make up this committee that has been set up. Right, so the committee that we are told it includes the Amundi from the UK, and other committees. We'll try and get Kofi J to join us and break it down further for us. Meanwhile, a Labour expert is urging government to discard its unilateral position regarding the use of pension funds of the public sector workers to service its domestic debt exchange program. Boachi Adam says government must engage stakeholders, particularly organized labour, for mutual solutions to the challenge. His advice comes on the back of the threats by organized labour to embark on an indefinite strike from December 27. We'll hear from Dr. Boachi shortly, but first, let's go to Kofi AJ, who is standing by with the breakdown for us. Kofi, first tell us which entities make up this committee we're talking about.
Well, Aisha, these entities include Albedin, we have also Mundi UK Limited, BlackRock, and then Greylocks Capital Management, and 91. And so these international bondholders of Ghana's Eurobond is somewhere around $13.2 billion.
Now, what does this committee intend to achieve, Kofi?
So, Aisha, if you look at the committee, according to them, they say it's focused on the orderly and comprehensive solution of Ghana's debt challenges, and recognizing that such resolutions will require fair burden sharing and collaboration among Ghanaian authorities, private creditors, both domestic and international, and official sector creditors.
Now, there's been some suggestions that we're hearing from these people on the debt restructuring and the IMF engagement. What are those suggestions?
So the committee notes that, a process of good faith negotiation, could avoid unilateral actions and require a timely exchange of detailed commercial and financial information among the committee, the Ghanaian authorities, and the IMF. So this, they say, will ensure an outcome that is both equitable to creditors and responsive to the economic and social challenges facing the Ghanaian economy.
We also know, Kofi, that some of the members of this group are affected by the debt suspension. Do we have a sense of how much relief this gives government?
Also, the research desk, we've been studying the 2021 debt report released by the Finance Ministry, and the total external debt service, including principal payments, interest payments, and charges between 2018 and 2021 have cost government some $9.52 billion. And external debt service in the period under review cost the states on average $2.4 billion every year. And if you look at principal payments, on average, cost us $1.71 billion annually, while interest payments, milks away about $1.16 billion every year as well. Now, next year, which is 2023, interest payments on our, external loans could cost the state 21.25 billion Ghana cedis, which is somewhere around $2.62 billion. And it's about 87.5% of the $3 billion we are expecting to get from the IMF. So, Aisha, a successful suspension of interest payments alone would save us some $2 billion, all things being equal.
Kofi AJ is an in-house data analyst, and he's been breaking things down for us. We cannot.